All right, let's get straight into it. I want to make a disclaimer that today I think I'm going to be really blunt. I'm not going to mind my language. I'm going to be thoughtful, but I really have to express how I'm feeling after I haven't even finished the stream yet. But Mr. Uganda stream yesterday, I actually I basically missed all of it because we were having a really nice cordial dialogue somewhere else, a diaspora dialogue somewhere else, with young people that actually know how to have some sense. And I'm going to get straight into it, right? I think the problem that we're seeing when it comes to this diaspora issue is all of these old people. And oh, it's ageism, it's ageism. No, it's all of these old people. The pattern that I'm seeing with this, right, is it's all of these people who are either married, parents, both, have lived life, and it's like they get on YouTube and they have no sense whatsoever. I can't understand this. I really cannot understand this, right? I had to get up early this morning. I have a really busy day, and like I'm not trying to make this about myself, but just to give you like context of why I'm so pissed off. I'm a full-time carer. I also work a full-time job. I have to deal with someone with very, very complex needs, you know, and you would think at like our young age, we would be the ones acting like this on YouTube, going buck wild and acting stupid, right? I get up super early, I got to do my routine and everything like that, make sure everything is in order. And I thought, let me catch up on Miss Uganda stream because I came in kind of late. I only came in the chat, but I had the thing on mute, the stream on mute because I was already having a conversation, but I wanted to see what was going on in the chat. And the deflection. It's the level of deflection that I'm hearing in these conversations. And this is what is happening, right? I'm gonna be honest. There is a hijacking of Mr. Uganda's platform from Americans. It happens. And actually, no. Let me be more specific. A particular person has a tendency to hijack the platform, and we were going on a topic about issues in the UK, and then it always results in issues of the US which are completely irrelevant to what is being spoken about, and then it turns into deflection, denial, victim blaming, and finger pointing to the white man. And it's really mind-boggling. It is really, really mind-boggling, the lack of self-awareness, self-reflection that I'm seeing from all of these old people. Like, really and truly, the only person that was decent on there yesterday, damn near, no, two people, was KS and Devon. And I'm really upset because I actually told Devon about Miss Uganda's platform, was it 2 days ago? Because we were having a discussion in my Discord server about what was going on and these same sorts of issues, right? He's a very reasonable, old, wise guy. He gives really, really good advice. And it's like no one was seeming to want to take heed to what he had to say. And I'm not just saying that because me and him are good friends. I've known Devon for years, but he was actually trying to give sound advice. And it's like, these old people, these are the same parents, the same old people that will be telling their kids that you have to listen to what I have to say, listen to good advice. You have an older person here trying to give you some advice, and none of you lot can take it in because you're too blasted stupid and too ignorant. You can't see outside of yourself. Everything according to you is right. You're always right. None of these people are ever wrong. Right? It's crazy. Mr. Uganda is like the same age as me. I'm 23. I think he's 23 as well. Me and Mr. Uganda can have a good conversation. African Millennial can have a good conversation. I think Mr. Nice is also around our age. And like, when he gets on a panel, it's regular, reasonable. But all of these, 50 going on 12-year-olds, they can't seem to get it together. The personal insults, and then people take things personally, and then they, it's crazy. I really don't know what to say, but it really does piss me off, because in the same breath we hear, I respect your platform, Mr. Uganda, we respect your platform, I love your platform, and then you shit all over his platform with whatever mental issues that you have, whatever traumas that you have that you haven't been able to get over and address, and you just vent all over his platform. We had to listen to someone talk for 20 minutes straight about nothing. Nothing. All this psychobabble, hotep, racism victim, crybaby bullshit that had nothing to do with the original topic, that completely took us away from what someone else was talking about. And then, they claim to be wanting to address it. This is too much. This is really too much. A lot of you old people like to hear your own voices. A lot of you like to listen to the bullshit that you have to say, and you have nothing to say, but always want to be crying about unity, or you said this and you did this and you did that. What kind of childish shit is this? I'm really shocked. You got people threatening to dox each other. Like, get a fucking life. Go get a fucking life. Any people got kids, family, husband, wife. What the fuck is wrong with you lot? Like, it's a real question. What the fuck is wrong with all of you old people? Go find something to do. Get off of YouTube, because it's like, I was saying this the other day in the chat. It seems that YouTube, it can bring out the best in people, but it seems to bring out more of the worst in people. But Devon was right in what he said. When you listen to people talk, they tell you who they are. And all I'm hearing from these people are that they're former victims turned victimizers, or that they're just, I have to question some people's sanity, whether they're actually mentally sound from the way that they talk. You've got people that think that they're smarter than everybody. You've got just people that can't overlook personal attacks. Like, it's crazy. It is really crazy. And I'm not saying that I'm someone that's perfect. I'm not, because those that know me will know I can be just as vulgar. I can be very, very vulgar, and I could be very, very disrespectful. And I roast people when it's the time and when it's the place. But when you're coming on a platform, again, trying to talk all this unity, or you're trying to, you claim that you're trying to have understanding of people, and you can't even see past your own thought and how you see the world and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you're full of shit. You are so full of shit. And all you do is disrespect people's platforms. All you want to do is talk shit, vent. Mr. Uganda, you're good, because if it was up to me, people would have been banned. I would have been banning people. I'm not here to listen to, what car you drive, or your husband does this, or your kids this, and where you grew up. And, this is why I had to flip out on Mr. Uganda's platform. And I'm sorry for doing that, Mr. Uganda. I am actually genuinely sorry for doing that. But it really, really got under my skin to hear that people want to deny something that has been happening, that apparently still continues. And then you want to deny a group of people of something that happens to them. And in the same breath, you want to play victim and start bringing up slavery. You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. Seriously, it's so fucking annoying. And it makes me question, how were some of you lot raised? How were some of you lot raised? You're so proud to be who you are, but it's like you've been dragged up by dogs. No kind of interpersonal skills. I've got a stray cat in here right now. This stray cat has more behavior than you lot. This stray cat is grateful for the food I give him. He doesn't piss and shit all over the place. But you lot aren't grateful for the platform that you've been given. And all you do is shit and piss all over Mr. Uganda's platform. This shit is ridiculous. Honestly. You lot should be ashamed of yourself. Like, I can't do this type of drama. You're getting pressed over people that you can't even see. You can't even see these people. They're just avatars and names. And you wanna start going off on people, and I give the same energy that has been given to me. It's like, do you not understand how to rise above shit? It's never that deep. It is never that. It's never deep enough to start, insulting whole groups, right? Or threatening to dox people and going into people's personal business like that. Like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you lot? Seriously. It's really, really shocking. Yeah, Mr. Uganda, no kind of interpersonal skills. No kind of, it's like you lot never knew how to have friends or talk to people. Or is this just how you are online? You know, and people will say, well, these are, you know, this is just the internet, but these are real people using the internet. These are real people. And if this is what you're like on the internet, then God, I don't know what to fucking say when it comes to real life, how you deal with people. Because some of you lot don't know how to accept when you're wrong. You can't accept critique. You want to start saying, oh, well, I wouldn't look at it like this. It doesn't matter what the fuck you think. If someone is giving you a critique, right? You don't know yourself like other people know you. People will see stuff that you can't see because you're always going to see yourself as a good person. That's pretty much everyone's default. You just generally see yourself as like, you know, you're not a bad person. You didn't do anything wrong. But when other people are telling you, hey, you said this or you did this, and this is the problem, and all you want to do is say, well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Like, I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. If my mom was there critiquing me right now, and if I told my mom, well, that's your opinion, that's what, you know, she'd clap me. She'll clap me, rightfully so. If you lot's kids were disrespecting you and saying, well, mom, that's your opinion, well, that's just your opinion, you lot would have everything to say as parents. But when someone is actually trying to show you where you went wrong, because you're so old and wrong and strong, you don't want to hear it. You always want to be right. And this is the conflict. You're not willing to bend to the other person's opinion. You can take on board what they say. You don't have to take it to heart. Take it on board, agree or agree to disagree. Maybe apply some of it and maybe you'll get somewhere further. Like real talk, this is why these conversations, when it comes to the diaspora, you have to really know who you're talking to, what kind of people you have on it, because some of you lot sound really damaged, super damaged. You know, whether you're bullied or you face racism and you just can't seem to get over none of the shit. You lot are too damn damaged and you're too old. This is the problem. All you damn old people. I used to say this is the internet too, but it feels all too real. People exactly. It's virtual, but this is real. We're all real people. We're all human beings. We all have lives. We are all existing. And this is how you don't want to act. Even to joke about doxing somebody, that's not cool. That is not cool. To dox someone, you could put somebody at risk. You don't know what can happen. So why is that even something to even say, whether you're joking or not? That's not cool. But let someone turn around and dox you and put your children's business out there and put your children at risk. For what? Because you didn't like what somebody said. Listen, I've been through a serious issue from someone on YouTube, and where they tried to dox me. They were defaming my character. They were trying to get in contact with my workplace for literally the dumbest thing. All virtual. That shit is not cool. And this person that was trying to interfere with my own personal life, she was what, mid-30s, acting like a damn idiot on the internet. A lot of you lot are unstable, really and truly. I thought I had problems, but Jesus Christ, you lot don't know how to behave. Just say how you feel. If you have a dislike or a hatred towards a certain group, you might as well just say it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't try to confuse people, and you say one thing but you really mean another. Give me 1 sec. I need to just I actually have to start work. I actually have to go and get my work laptop. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna work and tirade at the same time. All right, I'm back. And one thing that really upset me when I was listening to the playback and watching the comments, Miss Uganda commented and said that this sector's turning into a pit of aimlessness. And that's because of people like who we saw on the panel yesterday. Not everybody, but there are certain key figures. There are certain key figures that are turning this into a pit of aimlessness. I came into this sector because I wanted to hear what Africans have to say, because I have a genuine interest and care. I don't hate Africans. I don't hate African Americans. I don't hate anybody, really. Like, the people that I do hate know that I hate them. But I don't have the energy to be hard. But some of you don't have too much vitriol. And it's on all sides. It's on all sides. I'm not going to, I mean, I don't want to be biased. I don't really see Caribbean people maybe in this sector as much. But I don't really see us on this type of hatred shit. But there's too much vitriol going on. And you don't need to go direct your energy somewhere else. Find a hobby. Go talk to your wife. Go talk to your husband. Go play with your kids. Because to have all the energy to harbor against people is sick and it's dangerous and it's fucking you lot up. And that's why you lot are too damn damaged. All right, I'll post the link. Like, it's a real shame. It's a sorry, StreamYard kicked me out. It seems to do that quite a lot. But see, now I've lost my train of thought a bit. That was it. It's the vitriol. Yeah, you lot. I can't understand it. I can't. You don't need to let it go. Go seek counseling. You know, do something. Seriously, go get help. Like, this isn't normal. Harboring hatred for groups is not normal. This shit is not normal. KS, thank you so much for joining the panel.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Morning, everybody. Yeah. Because, I started the live with Mr. Uganda because I was concerned about the doxing thing, because as someone who works with people's personal information as well, myself, that's not something you talk about. You don't joke about stuff like that, And even in my job, if I said something like that, I would get in trouble, even if I don't physically do it. Just making the threat of doxing somebody is something that I can get sacked for. I don't know how they work in the States, but I just think, when you start coming on somebody's live and saying, let's look up this person's personal records and see how much tax they've paid. And you're threatening to do that to not even one person, to multiple people. Yeah, it makes the environment very toxic, and then people will be put off from even coming back to the live. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
no, I understand completely. It's not safe.
Exactly. It doesn't make it a safe space. And Mr. Uganda has always said this is a safe space. But when somebody's coming on and saying, oh, I don't like what you're saying, so I'm going to do this, it doesn't make it a safe space anymore. And it's something that really should not be allowed, and it's something that should be looked at. And when Mr. Uganda was trying to speak to the person in question, oh my God, I don't even know if you're in the last bit of that live. Seriously.
I reached that point. I've actually reached that point, and all I'm hearing is excuse making, deflection, and not even really addressing the
Thank
point.
you.
And again, you're a big woman, you're a mother, a wife, and this is how you act.
Thank you.
What the hell?
Mr. Uganda was so patient. I don't know, me as a Jamaican, right? I would have told her to shut up. I would have said, shut up, let me finish. But Mr. Uganda, he's a gentleman. Because the gaslighting and the deflection was just so ridiculous. And then it was the little sneaky comments about people that was being made in the middle of that made it like so, it was horrible. It was horrible to listen to, and it was just so toxic.
It really is. Mr. Uganda has the patience of it saying it wouldn't be me.
Yeah,
it really
trust me.
wouldn't. like I use Discord a lot. I'm on like Discord and stuff, and I've been in service with the diaspora, and it's like if I even smell that you're gonna start insulting groups of people, I just ban you straight away. There's no conversation. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not going to deal with that. But then these are the same people that will come into this space claiming that they want to quote unquote promote unity, or
Exactly.
I want to have understanding, and my brothers and sisters. This is why I don't really call people that too much, really, because all this brother and sister and brother and sister and brother and sister, and this is how you act. I love Africa so much. I love this so much. Pro-black, we're this and we're that, and you do literally the opposite.
Exactly. And the thing is, I'm probably not as old as some of the people coming to the channel, but I'm older than you guys. I'm in my mid-30s, and I think with a lot of the older people, I'm not trying to make any excuses. I think they lived in an era where racism was a lot more overt and a lot more in their faces. And I think a lot of people didn't seek the help that they needed from the trauma. And so they're coming onto Mr. Uganda's channel and they're hashing out these traumas, and talking about these trauma-based experiences because they're stuck in that cycle. It's a psychological thing. They're stuck in that mode. And even if we try to talk about something else that's pertaining to something else, like let's say we're talking about Africa and, issues around Africa, you'll always find that they're so stuck in that trauma mode that they drop back into that mode. So even if even if they try to discuss something else, they'll forever go back to that same topic. And it is a trauma-based mentality that they've not really sought the help for,
You're right. You're right. But at this point, I don't give a shit. I don't
care.
I
Exactly.
really don't care. You've been through trauma. Guess what? I've been through trauma too.
I
faced racism in this country, got called all kind of niggas and all this. I lost a job over racism. I'm not here complaining and the white people did this to me and I lost my job and get up and move on.
And that's the key. And that is the key, that you're not stuck there. Exactly.
Right. NHS is free. Go seek counseling. It's not my problem. I'm sorry that you went through it, but at this point, I don't care. I don't care that you're stuck there. That's your problem. That's nobody else's problem but your own.
But the talking for 20 minutes about when that wasn't even the topic. Somebody came on and talked for 20. I kid you not, 20 minutes.
I was watching the time.
Talking.
I was sitting at the table, right? I was sitting at the table listening. I'm there trying to get my grandma's breakfast ready and all this type of stuff, and she's still going. And then, the people come in because we got carers that come in. They come in, they do what they need to do, and then she's still going. I'm like, this is unreal. This is really, and this is why I'm starting to question, are some people actually mentally stable? That's not normal. That's not normal stuff. Like, again, I'm going to be really blunt today. The only people that I ever know that will run you a whole story for 20 minutes are crackheads because they're trying to get money out of you.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I'm crackers come to you and they want to start telling you all this all over the place stuff. It's all over the place. They're telling you none of it is coherent. It doesn't make sense. And then they say, "Oh, can I get a pound?"
Or where I see that behavior, I work in mental health services. Where I see that behavior is with people who have mental health problems. They've got pressure. We call it pressure in speech. That's the term for it. Pressured
like schizophrenic
speech.
People, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a cousin who's paranoid schizophrenic and he doesn't take his medication. And when you see him, he's got all these stories and it's just like all you can do is nod and okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's two terms for it: pressured speech and flight of ideas. So they're all over the place basically with their topic. Yeah. So I just thought, I was very concerned for Mr. Uganda because I know he's a young man. He's not much older than my son. And, people are unloading their crap onto his channel. And I'm sure that's not the reason why he started his channel. I'm a relatively newcomer to his channel and to yours, obviously. And I do appreciate what you're both doing. I respect you both. You're quite young people and you're both really intelligent. And I still have a lot of hope for Black people because of people like yourself. So, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I'm going to jump off because I'm in the middle of work as well.
I really appreciate that, KS.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Thank goodness you're an older person that sees what's going on. But yeah, it's these like well older people that just can't see past their own trauma, and it's sad that your show literally become the Jeremy Kyle show, and it didn't get anywhere. It just again it was literally like Jerry Springer. You know, you have the first person on the stage, oh hi Jerry, you know, I'm here today to say that I'm leaving my wife of 90 years to go marry a midget stripper. And then you have all of the people coming from backstage, you know, fighting and chair throwing, and you know, it's supposed to be a thing of resolution. I thought that Mr. Uganda's show yesterday was supposed to be about more so of resolution, and all it did was turn into more insults, more victimhood, you know, not taking responsibility, deflection, wordplay. When you did have people coming on and saying, "Hold on a second, guys, let's look at this," because it wasn't just Devon. I think Kaizo as well was trying to, you know, bring a voice of reason. Mr. Nice, voice of reason. And these are young people, younger people that are bringing the voice of reason. It shouldn't even be like that. Well, you know, everything is about respecting the elders, and this is why, you know, some of you old people ain't worthy of no kind of respect whatsoever. Well, I gotta make sure that I'm in a work meeting as well, but I gotta make sure that I'm still on mute and make sure that no one else is left. But you know, some of you like you like ain't worth a damn ounce of respect. Really and truly, I have to question some of you people's upbringings. You know, your trauma, if you went through it, get over it. The same way how I said on Miss Uganda's platform when I had my little vent with slavery, the same thing. Get over it. You have to get over that. I'm not saying to forget slavery. I'm not saying forget that you were bullied, but you have to be able to overcome that and stop letting that, you know, mold you into what you are. Stop allowing that to okay certain types of behavior, okay in certain types of speech towards other people. Because it's not gonna work. It's not healthy. Stop saying that you respect somebody's platform and you do everything in your power to disrespect their platform and then give them a pat on the shoulder and say, yeah, thanks again. It's man, I really don't know. I would be so embarrassed if my mom was like that. You know, my mom grew up in this country, faced racism, the whole nine, everything like that. But it seems that she got over it and she's not as fucked up as you guys are. Really and truly. This is why all this unity talk, all this diaspora, we have to get along and blah, blah, blah. I believe in getting along with people, yes, and being cordial and respectful. There's something called mutual respect. And what it looks like is that there should, when it comes to like each group, you know, it can only be, we have to show respect to one way. It's never a two-way thing. And then what happens is you beat up on one group, and then the other group, instead of kind of defending themselves, they try and one up the damage and the disrespect. And you know, it's a war. This is really a war. The diaspora war is between you old people. I'm telling you, growing up in the UK, and this is why I was trying to really understand when people are talking about like growing up in the UK and they were getting bullied by Jamaicans and stuff. I'm not denying that. But I never saw, me personally, I never saw that growing up. I wasn't raised like that. You know, we had, you know, African children coming into a house to eat. You know, my grandma was always welcoming, you know, come sit down. You know, she's an old West Indian woman that migrated here in the 60s. So you would assume that somebody like her would be anti-African, and she wasn't. She was never like that. I wasn't raised to hold hatred and dislike towards Africans. That's not how I was brought up. You know? I'm trying to see where this was. I never experienced it in school. I never partook in any kind of bullying or hatred. I actually used to get bullied in school until, you know, my mom was like, you can't keep getting beaten up. You have to start fighting back. But it was never anything ethnic. You know, bullying in school, when I was going to school here in Northwest London, nothing was based on ethnicity. We weren't, oh, you're Nigerian, you know, we're gonna beat you up, you know, because you're African this, and but it was none of that. It was none of that. You old people need to keep your beef to yourself. Stop trying to impose that on the younger generation. I don't, Miss Uganda, are you free to jump on the panel? Because I want to understand, like, from your perspective, if you went through that, like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? You know, we've never had ethnic war. Maybe it's in a different part of London, but I went to school in Harlesden, Northwest London, which is a heavily Caribbean area. Um, and then I went to school around Kilburn, in Kilburn, where it's a real mix of people. You know, so I don't know. I really don't know with you lot. But keep that to yourself. You know, stop projecting your dislike and your hatred on people. Good morning, Mr. Uganda. You're tired and through, and I don't blame you. I can't blame you.
Thank you for having me on. And it's actually interesting. Do you know that live stream yesterday was actually a topic of conversation on multiple live streams because for whatever reason, I don't think people could, it didn't leave their spirits settled and everyone took something away from that live stream, which is really interesting because it was really impromptu and it was literally just meant to establish rules about respecting one another, but then it morphed into something else, right? But in any case, with the question you had about the Caribbean thing, I keep telling people that growing up, I didn't have this jaded experience with Caribbeans. And it's like, even if I did, for example, get picked on by Caribbean, I don't think it was because I'm African and they're Caribbean. And that's why I don't try to frame it that way because it could just be due to characteristic differences, you know? It's not really predicated on the fact that someone is Caribbean and they're African and all of this and all of that. For the most part, Caribbeans and Africans just identified as black, you know, in the part of the UK where I'm from. So whatever interactions we had, it was just black people shitting on black people or black people getting along with black people. It was never like we weren't taking it as like this is a Jamaican picking on a Nigerian or, you know, it just wasn't that compartmentalized.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I got into it with a Congolese girl, but that's because she was making rumors about me on the estate. But it wasn't, oh, this Congolese girl, let me go after her and, you know, it's African. No, you're talking about individuals. We're dealing with individuals. And the problem that we're seeing is that everyone wants to make an individual thing a group issue. Now, again, I'm not going to deny people's experiences because, like I said, I've asked my mom, was this a thing when she was growing up? And she said, yes, back in the 80s, Africans used to be picked on. And it might have been that thing back then. Maybe it was ethnic. I can't speak to that. I wasn't born. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. But, you know, this whole beef, if it's still continuing now, it's like, is this really ethnic? I've heard people kind of say like, oh, well, you know, it's the gangs and stuff like that. Criminals don't represent the groups of people. You know, if you have a Jamaican gang and like, I don't know, a Nigerian gang that are warring, is it really ethnic or they're just a bunch of criminals?
Right.
We can't do that. I wouldn't ever say that some group of criminals it's really, you know, I don't even want to really get into it because it can get quite sensitive and I don't want to misspeak. But I just wouldn't say that groups of criminals represent whole ethnic groups.
Right. I think, like, honestly, it's like, I think KS said it. And I think, to be honest, after that live stream, I did call AM and we had like a very, very long conversation before she had her own live stream. And I was like, it's like some people are just locked in that space. Like they're just locked in the room where the trauma happened. And whatever they try to do, however they try to relate, it's like it always has to come back to the room they were locked in, like the trauma room. And it's like they can't talk past their trauma, they can't walk through it, they can't overcome it. It's like it's just the trauma. And I felt like, and this was the shortest live stream I think I've had in like a while. And I felt the most overwhelmed I ever had because it was just like the pure obliviousness, you know, like to not just see past your own experience. Like, I think, and I had to, because I'm not going to watch the live stream back, because to be honest, it aggravated me too much. But I think DMF might have brought up a Caribbean perspective. I mean, his experience with Caribbeans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Panjon might have just come on and then she made it all about America and that experience. And it's just like, okay, now you've just dismissed what he said. And it's like,
Right.
we are meant to have a dialogue. So you're meant to build upon what he says, you know? You're not meant to just completely take us to another context, you know?
Right. And that's what got me upset on your live stream before, because it was the exact same thing. The denying somebody something and then trying to make it about you and then play the victim. You can't do that. You just can't do that. But it's like the lack of self-awareness. Like, people don't hear themselves. And then when you do get backlash, then you're like, I don't understand why people are saying it. Can you not look at yourself? I have to wonder, do people even watch the live streams back? Because anyone, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, and flipping, my grandma's blind. All three of them combined can see what the hell's going on. Everyone can see it, you know. But Mr. Uganda, you have the patience. I don't have the patience. I do not have the patience for that. It's the disrespect that I cannot tolerate. I can't.
Right.
Boy, but again, it's showing what Devon said. When you let people speak, it shows you where they're at. It really
Right.
shows you where they're at. You know, all this hatred and vitriol and stuff that people harbor, like, it's not healthy. And Devon taught me that. He gives really, really good advice. He taught me that you can't hold on to stuff. What happened has happened, and you have to get over it. Because I was stuck in a point with certain things in my life personally to do with my family, where it's like every time that I'm explaining to him, he's like, yeah, but that was the past. Yeah, but that was the past. At first I wasn't getting it. And I'm like, yeah, but this and this and this. And he's like, yeah, but that's already happened. And you can't do nothing to change it. You have to move forward. But it's serious. Somebody's like, they need some serious counseling. I'll go talk to Devon. He'll give you some good advice. I can vouch for it. Because well, it's not healthy. It is really not healthy. You're right, Diogo.
Greetings, family. How are you guys doing?
I'm upset.
I'm listening because I'm trying to get some context to the conversation because I didn't watch the lives, so I need to go back and watch it. But yeah, man, I don't understand why we keep trying to do such things, man. This is why I said that maybe it's best for us to focus on our own issues sometimes, but actually it's not what I want us to do. I wish we could work together, you understand? So, but it creates a scenario in which we want to be toxic for whatever reason. So I don't understand what's the problem, man.
So, Diogo, just repeat that last bit for me again.
Now, I'm saying it seems like we want to be toxic. So I don't understand what's the problem amongst us. It's we want to be toxic, you understand? I thought these two places we would be exchanging ideas, but it seems that that's not the case.
No, it's not. But they come in the guise of wanting to do that. Just be honest. If you don't like Africans, then stay away. If you don't like African Americans, then stay away. If you don't like African Caribbean people, then just stay away. Like, it don't come under the guise of one thing and you have a whole other agenda. And especially stop trying to ruin other people's platforms, because at the end of the day, this all really affects Mr. Uganda. He's the one with the channel. You keep bringing your drama on here. People are gonna, look at Mr. Uganda's channel and say, "Oh, I don't want it. It's too much drama." That's not what he's trying to do. He was doing, was it the Backyard Report before? There were other productive streams that he had. Mr. Uganda is a fair person. He runs a good platform. And it's just the people that swamp it, they ruin it. They really ruin it. You got people that talk for damn near half an hour about nothing. But then they say, I'm going to keep it brief. You got people that say, oh, I'm not going to talk about myself, and then continue to talk about themselves and keep it brief. It's just... Like the other stream... I think it was the previous stream to this one, was another one I kind of just walked away. I had to go drink some tea because I had a headache. It was a real headache. And again, it's not Mr. Uganda. It's the people that come on his platform and make it all about them, it always breaks out into a diaspora war, and it's all these old people with the diaspora war. I don't see young people with this.
Yeah,
So
I
go
mean,
ahead, guys. I want you guys to speak as well. I don't want to take over.
I mean, I think it's like, and I said it in the chat. It's like, I'm not sure when everyone started entering in, because I think you guys might have entered in on this side of the year, whereas a few of us were in this sector before the new year. But after the new year, it's like the energy just shifted, and it was like a free for all. And then I tried to salvage it by making the backyard news report or whatever, and then like it became corrupted as well. Like it's just like everything is just becoming corrupted. Like it's like, I think the traumatized people, they really feel like they just want to speak and unload. I feel like it's just about them unloading, and it's too selfish for me. Like it's just selfishness, because it's all about you needing to project your own voice. And I think what really did it for me yesterday, and why I had to flip out at the end, is because I've given another panelist like the opportunity to say whatever they want, right? And I even told KS this. I said that I'm letting this person speak because I hope that at least when I speak and I lay out all the facts, I'm going to be given the courtesy just to say what I need to say. But then I was interrupted so much. Like every third, fifth letter, I was interrupted. I'm like, we can't continue like this. Like this is it's like I was just popped. And I was like, you need to just like respect people, period. But especially the host, you don't try to overtalk the host actively. Like I can understand you, like perhaps you guys speak at the same time, but when you make it your mission to constantly talk over the host, interrupt the host when the host listens to you talk for 20, 50 minutes, I'm like, that's disrespectful, you know? It's just rude. It's just rudeness. And I just couldn't get my mind around it. And I just popped. I was like, just stop it and shut up. Like just shut up. I just didn't know what to do. It was just crazy. It's just crazy. And to be honest, right, I really do feel like it's gone up a notch in terms of the drama, because me and UN's viewership are now linked more so, because I had him on the show. It's like those supporters and those personality types are leaking in from his show, and when they call in, oh my gosh, like it's just another level. And I'm just like, so this is the type of person who views his videos, like they're just extremely triggered, emotional, very, very trapped people, right? And that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I even had to unsubscribe from his platform because I started to see, you know what, it's just about, winding people up, and then it creates negative discourse. The last stream that I saw before I unsubscribed was this one lady, I think she's Jamaican, we're talking about voodoo and Africans and witchcraft, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not about to listen to this, and you're going to allow that to continue. But again, you'd want to talk about Pan-Africanism and Africa needs a diaspora, and then you've got people from the diaspora like disrespecting Africans. What was that telling me? And like you said, you get the same people from his platform, unfortunately, leeching into yours and bringing all of that and imposing that on what you're trying to do. And again, like people have to respect, not everybody's willing to be, kind of hard line. You're not a hard line guy. You just want to be fair to everybody, but they're taking your kindness for weakness. And I really hate to see that, because again, they will basically disrespect you, disrespect your platform, and they disrespect you by doing that. And then they say, oh, thank you so much for allowing me on your platform. Thank you. I really love your platform. I respect your platform. Everything they do couldn't be any further from the truth. KS got into your channel a few weeks ago, and I'm glad that at least she could see through the drama that you aren't the problem when it comes to your platform. It's the people that are coming on and ruining it. But other people may have seen your platform and then they want to stay away because it's just drama, disrespect, alienation, hatred. And you know, again, it really bugged me when I saw your comment saying that it's just been turned into a pit of aimlessness, because it should never have been that. Your platform has way more potential than these people would ever have doing their own platforms. Because I guarantee if you give these people a chance to have their own channels and their own subscribers, it's going to be a shit show every time. Or it's just going to be, you know, them doing long monologues about themselves and stuff that just nobody cares about. No one will want to listen to. You know, sometimes some people that get on the platform and they have their dialogues, it's like, I'd rather watch paint dry than listen to anything they have to say, because none of it's relevant. None of it is relevant. Nothing sticks to the topic. Respect the platform by sticking to the topic. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I don't know, Diogo, if you have anything to say on this.
No, I don't have anything to say, man. It's just it's a disrespect, man. They're disrespecting platforms, is what I can say, and it's not good, because we end up being unproductive when we're trying to be productive. So yeah,
You sound a little bit quiet, Diogo. Can you speak up a bit, please?
Yeah, I'm saying, can you guys hear me correctly? No.
Yeah, now you sound better.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's a shame, because we could have been productive, but it seems that that's not the case. So I don't have anything to say. I'm just listening.
All right, I really appreciate you giving your perspective on this whole thing, and you know, because you go onto these different platforms as well, and it's like, you know, you're just a regular person. You don't come on with the disrespect and the vitriol and the hatred. You just give your opinion, stick to the topic. You know, you were on my last stream as well. I didn't even think I'd be doing a stream again this week because I didn't want to, but we were able to have a really, you know, constructive dialogue with African people and Caribbean people. There was no back and forth, you this, you that. We're just talking about regular stuff, and it can be done. It's definitely possible. You know, it never has to be this hatred, because now I'm starting to see like other platforms are springing up, you know, where you see sort of the same people in all of these chats, and it's just spewing all this vitriol and hatred, and it's not going to pan out well. It's really not. It's really not. And I'm not for this Pan-African thing, but I'm just about mutual respect, having respect for people, listening to people, understanding them, putting your point across, but doing it in a cohesive manner, not all over the place. Not you listen to me and let me tell you what I went through, and you can't, you know, challenge or question or, you know, have any opinion on it. You just have to take what I say, and that's it.
I think
I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Uganda.
no problem. I think that there are just so many things at play in this sector. Again, I feel like it is shocking. Like, and I feel like even though I've been here for a while, it's still shocking to me. But I feel like honestly, I don't think even the people who are just coming on in like the last 2 months can get a full assessment of just how grimy this sector is. Like, it's extremely grimy. It's only ever been manipulative on part of some other content creators. It's pretty much just been a bloodbath, you know, and it's just crazy. And even some of the characters we have making channels, not a lot of people know, but some of these people were viral at a point in time, like extremely, extremely viral people who were on this diaspora war thing, and now this is the sector they've rested in, you know, like they've decided to like lay their eggs in this sector. So that's why, and no one ever leaves this sector, because you understand you really have an audience, and like it's just crazy. Like, I'm just shocked because I even another content creator that I know, one of his videos just went viral, and it's like this sector is really being looked at. As much as people don't think so, like this sector is like it can pretty much start another diaspora war in the larger context of things, because all you have to do is just take one video from here and put it on Twitter, then all hell will break loose, you know? It's just a very, 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 very... The sector has the potential for so much more, but it's just everyone's locked in their trauma, and it's like, because you can't move on, everyone else can't move on. And it's like you can't even have a productive discussion in some cases because some people always bring it back to the room they're locked in, the trauma they're locked in, which is sad.
Just looking at A86 Lyle's comment about Caribbean and Africans get along with are you saying continental Africans? I mean, even then, and we were talking about this earlier, with this beef that was happening or continues to happen between the two groups, I think that this is something that's stuck in the older generation, because I've never seen it. I really have not seen it. I've heard of it, but I've never seen this thing. And yeah, we get along because I think in this country at this point we've kind of realized that us keeping a division or holding up hatred for each other, it doesn't achieve anything. There's no benefit to it. There's no gain to it. It really, like, for me, any Caribbean person, Jamaican or whatever, that keeps hatred for Africans, you disrespect yourself by disrespecting other people, first of all, because you make yourself look bad and you make yourself look like you're untrained, that you don't have any kind of upbringing or respect for other people. But those that do that, my theory, right, is that they tend to be the ones that are uncultured. Because I've seen within the Caribbean community that you have some people that are proud of who they are, and you have others that will really cling on to this Black British label, or the like David Lammy now is calling himself an Englishman, which is just mind-blowing. But that's just my theory on that, is that when you have Caribbean people that will really pick on Africans and have all these things to say, they tend to be quite uncultured. Because if you understood who you were and you understood and respected your own culture, you wouldn't be able to do that. It wouldn't make sense for you to do that. Because you again, in turn, you'd be disrespecting yourself. Well, that's what I have to say on that. I don't know if you guys have anything to say.
I don't. I think, Diogo, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah, I pretty much have nothing else to say aside from the fact that yesterday I just really felt it. I don't know why. Again, I keep reiterating it was the shortest live stream, but it seemed everything felt more potent yesterday. Even when I was reading the comments section, everything just felt more raw. It just felt more potent, and it's just crazy because nothing in the video title necessitated that we had to discuss any form of trauma, but because we were taken there, we it's like we lived it and we had to like listen to it. And I honestly feel very, very sad for the audience, even those who weren't commenting, because we had quite a lot of people, and I guess they probably wanted to hear something better, you know, about the channel update or the channel rules, but they were just subjected to like unloading. It was just so much trauma bonding, trauma unloading. I felt overwhelmed, and I was just like, and I still haven't gotten over it. It's just crazy. Like, honestly, I think some people just shouldn't call in because like they're not capable. Like, and it's like you don't even know how to take a rebuttal, and even if you do, you don't have the mental fortitude to look past what you've been through. It's like there's just so many characteristics that I see on the panel that someone really should write a paper on the mental health of Black YouTube, because it would certainly be a good paper to read. I feel like there's far too much trauma going on, you know?
No, I agree. I really agree, because I thought I was going to hear you kind of lay down, you know, the law of your channel, how it works. And I don't even think it got to that point. I'm only getting up to the sort of the final parts regarding the doxing thing now. And it's just, oh my God, I don't know, Miss Uganda, you might have to do like an actual, like a video thing rather than like a stream, and just put it out there and just be like, listen, it's this and this. If you can't respect it, get out. Because people are really going to bring your platform down, and it doesn't need to be like that. Because I remember when you were doing the backyard reports, and it was like, we can learn about what's going on. We can listen to what's going on. You're reporting the news, and we're all having a positive chat in the comments. And you would walk away from that stream after it's done, and you learned something, and it was positive. You know, people were getting along.
Yeah, I should probably bring that segment back in. Like honestly, I did want to do more like economics discussion and whatnot, but honestly, like this sector is just like I just don't know. Like I just don't know honestly. But I have been very, very interested because I've been reading like I've got a ton of books about like the continent that I'm eager to like share my thoughts on. But again, like this sector, there's always so much going on. Like even when I hear about stuff going on in the continent directly with regards to the repat thing, like I'm just baffled. And then it's just crazy about how grimy these stories get because even with the last one I discussed, I don't have to mention her name, right? But it's like when I heard that there was an element of like a love triangle being involved and all of this stuff, I was like, this is just so ghetto. Like it's just absolutely ghetto. It's like crazy.
And these are all grown people. These are all grown people. You know, like I said, I've been in a YouTube beef before with someone that was significantly older than me, and it's funny that you know. Let me go into the story. I'll give you guys a story because this channel here, right? This is my alt channel. I actually have another YouTube channel with more subscribers, but I stopped using it because every time I would comment somewhere on YouTube, it would always get deleted. So I don't know if YouTube just shadow ban my comments or whatever it is, but basically I ended up in this weird virtual love triangle with people that I had never met. And this person that tried to be my friend, they tried to get close to me thinking that they were going to get close to someone else because they assumed that I was close with this other person, but this is all cyberspace. And because this person didn't get what they wanted from me, i.e. personal details about someone else that I didn't even have or didn't know, they basically turned on me, started going onto my LinkedIn, trying to get in contact with my workplace, slandering me, trying to put my business out there, talking about my job, all this sorts of stuff on YouTube, and probably to this day making videos about me. This person's made 10 plus videos about me, back to back to back to back, tweeting about me, all sorts of stuff. Like the mental health, especially with these older people, it is real. The black YouTube mental health, I think again, it's not really with our generation. I don't know what you think, Mr. Uganda. Do you think it's just among the elders, or do you see it amongst our age group as well? Because at least in this sector, you know, you, African millennial, Mr. Nice, you know, all the younger people, Kaiser, like everyone else that's kind of, you know, probably around in our 20s and stuff, we're all just cool. We keep it level-headed. We keep it reasonable. You know, if we disagree, we know how to disagree.
Yeah, I think the older people, man, I don't know what's going on with them. I believe that we're in this situation because of the older people, man, because they can actually put the petty things aside and actually focus on the objectives. It's something I've been saying for a long time. It's the older people, man. So I don't know how we can actually move like that because the older people actually should be example to the younger people, but it's not the case with us.
Exactly. That's why it really does shock me when I hear that these people are like parents. And in my head, I'm thinking, you know, I don't know you, but if you're a parent and that's how you act with strangers on the internet and you have kids, God help your kids. Like, what else is anyone supposed to think?
Like, do you know what the thing is, right? It's that I really do feel, and this is something I've said, it's something I refrain from saying on the screen, but I'll say it now. I really do feel like for the old people, they've hit a wall. Like, and YouTube is pretty much all they have, you know, like YouTube is a chance for them to settle old beefs, and this is pretty much all they have. And I think where us younger people are different is that we still have our lives left and we still have a lot of promise. We still have a lot of time to fulfill things. But a lot of the older people who are bitter and a lot of the older people who have so much vitriol, like their time is pretty much up, you know, like they haven't amounted to anything. And this is all they have. Like this is the avenue they have to like just sound relevant because every other part of their life, they're not treated as relevant. And to be honest, I understand. Actually, let me just make my point. Like, they haven't, acquired the family life they were looking for. They haven't got the type of job they were looking for. Like, pretty much, they've hit all of the bad sticks whilst falling down, from grace. And now YouTube is their chance to just unload and unload and unload. And that's why I think they really do gravitate towards younger people's channels. And that's something I've noticed, is that they don't even want to speak and converse with older people who can perhaps help them, They gravitate to younger people's channels in the hopes that, let me just, I really do feel like it's an energy thing. Like, they want to be around, like, abundant energy. They want to be around youthful energy. And that's why we see them gravitating to these spaces. Like, it's like leeches, like spiritual vampires and shit. And it's just crazy. Like, and I think KS said that PhD thesis for me, really and truly, I'm honestly going to get a compilation of all of the live streams I've done, even the ones I've like privated. And I'm honestly going to write a paper discussing the psychology of the Black community on this sector, because I feel like someone really does need to evaluate where we're going, where we've been, and just what we're doing right now, because there's a lot that takes place. And as much as people say it's not real, it feels real to me. Now, the thing is, right, KS left me her comment on my YouTube video, right? And I kid you not, me, and I know what her actual comment was about, like, now in retrospect, with regards to the person who was threatening to dogs. I kid you not, I was having a conversation about maybe the said individual and a bunch of other people. I was having this conversation with Bantu Queen at the same time. And I was like, do you see how the energy just bounces off? Because whilst I'm literally speaking about something, someone else is reaching out to me about the same exact thing. And then when you go on a live stream, it's like the energy just explodes because it's so real. Like, all of it is so real to me. And I'm just like, these are the people who you're going to walk around and you're going to see that, they look nice from a distance. But when they go back home, this is what they do. Like, they literally jump on spaces and just unload, and they traumatize other people. Like, the victim becomes the bully, and they don't even want to see sense. And it's like, they understand that they were once victimized, but they're not willing to heal, because I guess maybe it's easy just to stay in a sunken place. I don't know, but that's what I got to say. Okay, I think maybe her connection dropped off, or she had to go back to her meeting. But Diogo, did you have anything to add? Okay, she's back.
So StreamYard does this a lot. It just gives me this server error and it kicks me out. And I'm not sure why it does that. But I wanted to touch on what you said there, right? Because I did hear, it's the victim becoming the bully and kind of maintaining that and holding on to that as if that's something to be proud of, or if that's how you should conduct yourself. It's this lack of self-awareness. Okay, so you were the victim and you become the bully. At what point do you put that down? I was bullied, and then I didn't end up becoming a bully, but I ended up defending myself, because you can't keep letting yourself get beaten up. But then when you become the bully, it's like you take on that same toxic action and mind frame of the people that were victimizing you, and you get so consumed by it and stuck into it, and then now you can't break out of it, because obviously as you get old, like, imagine a person when they're born, they're like putty, right? Just really flexible, and you can mold them into anything that you want. As the putty gets old and it's out in the air, it hardens. And these people kind of harden now into their, like you said, into their trauma, into their bully phase, and they can't seem to get out of it. And the only way that really older people change is if something really significant or life-changing or life-threatening happens, where they realize, I've got to now, switch up in order to survive again. That's what I have to say on that.
What's interesting is that so it's like they can't forgive the bully that traumatized them, and they can't understand why they bullied them, right? but then they're also unable to leave the bullying archetype. It's like, so on one hand, you don't understand why someone finds it so easy to bully and why they continue doing it. But then on the other hand, you exhibit the same behavior and you're locked into it as well. It's just the cognitive dissonance for me, you know? And I feel like really and truly people, it's like at a certain point in time, you are a victim. But I do feel like when you're removed from that context, you choose whether you're going to victimize yourself further because the variable bully is now out of your life. What are you planning to do with it? Like, are you just going to continue reminding yourself of it? Like, if your mind just stays in the past, you're stuck, you know? Like, when are you going to get yourself in the present, you know? And that's what I feel like is an issue with these discussions. I think you said it as well, is that it's like they're so locked in the past that that's all they can ever contribute to a discussion. It's the past, it's the past, it's the past. And it's like you just can't relate to what they're saying. You know, all I can really say is thank you for your contribution, because I can't build upon anything they've said. You know, like I think when Diogo speaks, I'm actually able to talk to Diogo more. Like I think you can listen to the live streams. I'm actually able to question Diogo, work with him with what he's saying, because he gives me more of an insightful response. But there's certain other panelists, I'm like, okay, thank you, and you know, bye.
Yeah, because there is nothing really to say. There's nothing really agreeable. It's just people's, I call it, like, it's mental diarrhea from people. They just let it all out all at once, you know, and it's shit. It's nothing really said. But Visionary of Love has a question for you, Miss Uganda. I don't know if you can see it on the screen.
Okay, I'll read it out. Good afternoon. If I may question, I asked myself, why, Mr. Uganda, do you give those aggressive people so much space? And really and truly, it's because I feel like a lot of people, and I've stopped saying everyone, but many people do deserve to have their voices heard. Where it becomes an issue, and I've said this before, is when it lacks context and it lacks aim and intent. And I think that's where we go wrong, because there's nothing wrong with coming on a panel and, you know, exploring something you've been through or exploring a trauma. I'm completely fine with actually unpacking and deconstructing a trauma. But when it just seems aimless, then it's like, that's where it's an issue and I get really irritated. And I think going forward, I'm going to have to start saying, look, I understand you've been through this, but how does it relate to what X said? Because there's a time and a place for everything, but many times there's just not a time and a place for what they're saying. Even when they want to settle beefs, I don't understand why they think it's the time and the place to do it on my panel. It's like you guys carried the beef from another channel and you brought it over here. It's like, again, it's about social cues, like understanding and reading a room, really and truly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There is a lack of interpersonal skills with a lot of people, reading the room, understanding what's being said. Oh, that, you know, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this stream because I just got a notification. I have a meeting with my manager in 5 minutes, and that God, I really don't want to do it, but I can't cancel it. But I really, really appreciate you coming on the platform, Diogo coming on the platform, giving your opinions, and, you know, Miss Uganda, you kind of being able to speak more freely, you know, because, you know, your platform is a great platform. And the person who actually got me into your platform, because he mentioned it, was a Negropean. I was like, okay, Miss Uganda, that sounds like it would be an interesting channel. Let me check it out. So I just searched you up on YouTube and just hit subscribe, and then started watching your streams, like the next stream that you came onto. And I've just been listening ever since, because you have a good platform. You know, you host well, you're very, very fair to people. You know, you give your opinions, but, you know, you do also touch on the hot button topics, which is great. Well, people just have to be able to know how to handle these topics. If they can't handle it, don't bother showing up. Don't call in just for everyone to hear your mental rants in your head. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. And if you guys want to say your final words before I have to click off, I don't want to go to the meeting.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, and I wish a great weekend to everybody else.
I really appreciate that, Diogo. Thank you for coming on the panel, and welcome for the second time as well. And welcome for the first time for Mr. Uganda coming onto my panel, and I really appreciate you promoting my channel as well, Mr. Uganda. So for people that are subscribed to me who aren't from Mr. Uganda's platform, please subscribe to his channel, because I'm telling you, he does host very good live streams. He's very fair. He's funny. You know, we have good chats, and it's good vibes until the drama comes. But hopefully from this point on, people are gonna take heed and, you know, try to respect the platform properly, and it'll be good vibes from here forward.
I think in future, like we might have to do a collaboration where perhaps we discuss a Caribbean matter, and then I can host maybe a third of the live stream, then you can conduct the rest of the live stream on your show, and that way it allows people just to, like, you know, fluidly bounce between two spaces, which I think would be good, you know.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd definitely be down for that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I like that, because I do think that like your channel also has a lot of potential, and I like that it touches on the Caribbean context. So it can be a case of I just talk about it for like maybe 40, like maybe half an hour with you, or like 40 minutes, and then I leave the link to your show. I'm like, okay, we're going to conduct the second part on this show. Like, hurry up and get over there, you know? And that would be cool.
Okay, yeah, definitely. You know, I'll drop you an email. I haven't been checking my emails for ages, but I'll send you an email, and we can discuss that.
Okay, that's cool. I'm going to
All
jump
right.
off now. You go to your meeting, and thank you for conducting the live stream.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Uganda. Have a great day and a great weekend.
You too, and
All
same
right.
for everyone else. And bye.
All right. Bye. Guys, thank you so much for listening. You know, again, subscribe to Mr. Uganda's platform, because he has got a good platform, and just, you know, conduct yourself properly, respect yourself by respecting other people, and yeah, join Caribbean House server. I'll probably put the link in the description. Again, we welcome African Caribbean people and Africans to the platform. Just have discussions. We had a great discussion yesterday. But yeah, let me get to this meeting. Much appreciated. Take care.